Hi everyone, here is JiaYi Zhang and here to present a presentation of wind energy, the current, as you can see, current situation of wind energy. Wind energy is a type of new rising clean energy. The basic mechanism is to convert the kinetic energy of the wind to other energy form which we can take better use of it. Today, the majority use of wind energy is to generate electricity. Yes, as we know. But the proportion of the wind energy is still very slow. As you can see in this figure, it's only 2.8%. And yeah, if you really concerned about the environmental problem, you can see there's 64% of fossil fuels still using. I mean, fossil fuels are still the majority of our energy resource. Yeah, but still something good is other renewable energy now takes like about around 12% plus wind energy around like 15%, which is much larger than before. And as you can see, this figure is from 2015. Something that the advantages of the wind energy is it has no pollution, and as you can see, as I mentioned, it's renewable and not like the fossil fuels. It will not emission. It has no emission of greenhouse gas. Sorry. There's something else I want to present that I haven't mentioned in my essay is using wind energy we create jobs. Yeah, here's a 2016 United States like job created by wind energy. Yeah, another class I'm taking this quarter is a English class, and we're reading a book called "This Changes Everything," and that book is about capitalism and climate change. In that book, the author, one of the author's point is renewable energy is actually a rising market which provides tons of jobs and yeah, and like there's space to make profit, which under the capitalism context will naturally attract money, and the most important thing is attention to that industry or market, which usually will give it a boost. And another thing I'm going to say is the wind energy is actually relatively cheap in those renewable energies. Yes, here's another figure. Yeah, as you can see, like the wind energy's price is stable and like slightly decreased in some region of the world. Like for now, for here is India. Yeah, we may pretty much familiar with those like traditional tuber, like um, yeah, which is look like this. But there's also some new form of the like wind energy generator. Here's our two examples that will take the vertical airflow in use rather than like only the horizontal wind. And yes, as I mentioned in my essay, uh, new material was needed in making this kind of like twisted, weird stuff. And my example in my essay is the micro nanoscale material was invented by Lars Mikkelsen and Leon, those two scientists. And I put it in my citation. There's that essay wrote by those two scientists I mentioned above. Says by using their new material making the turbine, like if I remember correctly, it's like a 5% efficiency boost. You might say it's only like 5%, is not a significant figure, but you must consider the number or the scale of the whole wind energy industry, which means this 5% boost. If all of the like wind turbine can use the new material, yeah, you will save a lot of energy. Um, yes, and here's the traditional wind turbine. You can see like it can only use the horizontal wind, like the wind flowing here, and cause the turbine spin and something like stuff. Another point, sorry, another example I gave in my essays. How do we manage a big scale wind turbine farm? We call that farm because there's tons of turbines there. We need a manage system to like to control those turbines, how much electricity they generate, or monitoring their status. And as I said in my essay, recently we have new technique called neural network, which pretty much famous, which pretty much I guess you guys may know, you guys at least heard about. Here's two figure I found on the internet is associated with wind energy. This figure on the left is they're trying to use a neural network to predict how much electricity this farm will generate. Uh, yes, and as I mentioned in the essay, if we can predict the total electricity we generated uh, correctly or as precise as possible on a even larger scale, we can um, let's say on a larger scale, like multiple wind energy farms, they can cooperate better because the electricity net will know like who will generate how much electricity, and will transmit it to where. And also it's all about efficiency. And on the right is like the structure of neural network, which is pretty hard. I cannot really understand that. To summarize this presentation and my, my argument, wind energy industry is a newborn and rising rapidly field. it's not sharing a big proportion in the energy production right now, but we all can see its potential, right?